Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. So in today's video, guys, we have to go over Mika. This character is just absolutely insane. Uh, there's so many things to talk about with her, so I figured we'd cover her because in the early game, I think she's the best character, hands down. She just pairs so well with every single character in this game because she's really the only character that we have that gives you reliable additional AP, which is your main resource for activating a bunch of cards in a turn. So she's seen in almost every single comp. I saw a comment on one of my videos saying, like, everyone uses Mika, which there's a reason. She's that good. However, I will say in Chaos, right? Currently in Chaos modes, I don't think she's really replaceable. I think you need her for the heals and for the AP gain, but once you build some decks, I kind of get the sense that Mika might fall off, for future content, but that's kind of just speculation. So anyway, let's talk about her. Let's talk about her cards. Let's talk about partners, all of those good things. So her starting cards are very basic and straightforward, and it goes without saying that this water arrow is completely useless. You should remove this from your deck as soon as you get a chance. However, the water barriers are okay. The heal percentage is kind of nice. And it's an okay, card to use at the end of your turn or whatever, or to use in a pinch whenever you need some heals. Her signature basic card, which I guess isn't a basic card, it's a starting card, is kind of her bread and butter. This Source of Water card is amazing, and the Epiphanies for it are even better. So it gives you a heal and an additional AP for 0 cost. So it's a ramp card for your AP along with some heals. But when you start looking at the Epiphanies, it gets a little bit out of control. So the first Epiphany is an additional heal with some AP and then Wave. Wave is the other part of her kit that grants you additional AP. So the Wave is kind of just a ticker or a trigger where if you have 3 waves, you end up getting an additional AP for the turn. So you can stack your waves in a certain way where you get additional AP. So this is a nice option. The second option here, it increases the AP cost, but you do get an additional AP. And if you recover it, you get -1 cost for this card. So it does drop back down to 0. I think this is a little harder to activate than people think, though. So I would truly stay away from this one. The middle one, I would also kind of stay away from. It does have a little bit of merit considering it has Retain, and you might not need a whole bunch of AP in the turn that you draw this card. So it does have a little bit of niche case, but overall, the fact that you're just getting additional healing and the Retain, I think there's better options here. This one is I think a little bit undervalued. Managing your stress in Chaos is very important, and you are able to duplicate this card at the end of the first boss. So once you kill the first boss on the exterior, you're able to copy a card. So this might be one of your options. And if you're able to reduce stress by 4 almost every single run that you're playing against enemies, this can be quite valuable. I've picked this from time to time, but the one I tend to go for most is this card right here. So +3 AP is absolutely insane. Although it does have an exhaust, so that means it's going away after you use it for the rest of the turn or rest of the battle. This swing, I think, is just too much for the enemies to handle. So this is the one I tend to go for. And if you can copy it, yeah, you're in the business. So this is like her main bread and butter. When it comes to her ego skill, she creates 2 of those sources of water, but the baseline. So you pay 6 and then you get 2 of these. So you can ramp up some pretty good heals in the turn that you use this and increase your APs. But here it does say that you can retain it. This is if you have her with 6 copies, and we'll talk about this at the end. But the ego skill, even without the retain, is pretty good. It is expensive, though. Like, this is a lot of ego. I tend to not use this one too much, to be honest, but it is an okay skill. I think it's just a little too expensive. So when it comes to her Epiphany cards, Blessing of Waves, I really like this card, and the baseline model I don't think is quite good, but there is one specific Epiphany that I really like. So it's an okay heal. And then if you use it early, which is why I don't like it, you do get additional healing, but it is a sizable heal. But her Epiphanies is where this card kind of pops off. So this one on the left is the one I like the most, for sure. So you get a big heal, and if you heal excess, you get a shield equal to the excess amount of healing. The shield on this thing can be huge. So you turn her into an AP booster, a healer, and a shielder. So, yeah, pretty nuts. This is the one I always look for. This one here gives you one wave, so it's okay. There are times where you can get a decent size heal and then stack that one additional wave to kind of make this a cost 0 because you get your third wave, get the additional AP. This is just additional healing. I don't like this. This is damage. This is terrible. And then this one has Finale, where it ends your turn. However, it is 0 cost, and the amount of healing can be huge. I don't like the Finale card on this. It takes away the Retain, which I also believe takes away a lot of the value of this card, and not a huge fan. So the far left one, I think, is the clear favorite. That's the one you always want to go for. And the second best option is probably the Wave card. So when it comes to tactical analysis, 0 cost card for 1 wave for a turn, and then you get additional healing. It's an okay baseline card. I tend to go for the Epiphany on the far left here, which is 1 wave for 2 turns. So you'll get 1 wave the turn you activate it, and then you'll get 1 wave next turn. What I tend to find with Mika is sometimes you just don't get all your combo pieces, and you have, like, you end a turn with 5 or 6 AP, and it just feels completely wasted. So something like this where you're breaking it up, I do really like this. This one is more of a burst skill where you get 2 wave that turn, so you can really stack up some combos. But again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of times where I feel like I have too much AP left over from the wave, and I'd much rather distribute it over 2 turns. Same thing here, 2 wave, but then you get increased healing. This one's quite interesting as well. When own card is used, you get 1 wave for 1 turn. So because a lot of Mika's cards are 0 cost, you can stack up, even 2 AP from waves. So like 6 waves using this type of card. So that is a possibility. And then this one is an upgrade card where you get 2 wave, but then the 50% healing is like static. So the upgrade's pretty cool. And it's a viable option, but I tend to go for the one on the far left. Whirlpool, this card stinks. You're never using Mika as a damage dealer, and 2 cost is pretty bad. I'd say the only viable option here is this middle one because it reduces the cost by 1. And if you're going up against, some enemies that have 3 or 4 characters in them, you can get, 3 waves on 1 hit. So it's okay. But this card you can honestly remove from your deck. It's that bad. And then Deluge is all right. So it's unique, meaning that you can't copy it. You start with it, which is really cool. And you get 1 wave at the start of the turn, and then you gain 1 wave. So every turn you're starting with 1 wave, and like stacking the waves, like I said, is pretty easy. The fact that it costs 1 is a bit of a bummer. Kind of forced to use it as the very first card because it starts in your opening hand. But I think the cost is worth it. The wave stacking is quite good. And let's just jump to the Manifest Ego right now. So on the first copy of her, this is where it adds Outbreak of War. to Deluge. Here it says initiation, but that's just like it starts in your opening hand. So that's okay. When Mika takes stress, heal for 200%. So this is an amazing upgrade. Anytime you take stress, you just heal back everything. That's why I think the additional healing on her cards isn't needed. I also believe why that Epiphany for the increased shield, if you overheal, is so good, and why I always just prioritize like waves or AP gain over healing. You just get so much of it from additional copies, and Mika is really easy to get additional copies of right now, which is why I'm going over these. So the potential increases is actually quite good. On her potential kind of tree here, this is where you'll get like three free upgrades, which saves so much so much energy. I kind of underestimated these. So yeah. So here, the retain of the water source of water. This is from your ego skill. I actually thought it was the 6th, but it's the 4th. So this is also very powerful, more potential. And then on the 6th one, this is why Deluge, I think, is pretty good. If you have 6 copies of her, at the start of the battle, you gain 2 waves. So when you use Deluge at the start of the battle, it's basically a 0 AP cost. And then you get all the benefits from it for the rest of the game. So this is very good. Deluge, this makes Deluge very good, I should say. Now, the reason why I think this is pretty valuable is right now on the Haru banner, this is... sorry. On the Haru banner, Mika is one of the characters that you could be pulling alongside Beryl. So every 10 rescues that you use, you get a 4 or higher combatant. And then the probability info here, you have a 50% chance for your 4-star to be one of these. So every 10 pool, you have a 50% chance of it being Mika and Beryl. That's how I ended up getting my Mika 6-stars. I pulled on this, and I ended up getting 6 additional copies. So when it comes to her partners, right now, this partner, Arwen, is just really, really good. It's damage reduction, and you increase your HP and your healing by 8%. You also get a big heal on it, along with damage reduction on her ego skill. I am using this card. This partner, I'm just using it for the morale. I tend to use Mika more as a damage dealer, like I said, like an AP gain hero. So using the morale to increase my damage of my other characters, I'm just using Mika for card draw and then AP gain. So I have been using this one, but in the later game, I know this card's going to be, or this character is going to be much better. The other thing I need to mention is in the battle pass, if you pay the $10, you have the ability to get Nyx and put it on Mika, and this partner is amazing. So HP and healing are increased, and then when the assigned combatant draws for the first time each turn using an ability, so that means like a card or the actual ego skill of this partner, you're going to increase the damage of your allies by 8%. So it's more damage amplification, more card draw. This partner is amazing, and I'm most likely going to use it on this partner, but I haven't used it yet. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. So those are her partners. I think all of them are fine. But yeah, when it comes to potential, you get additional healing of like her basic card. It's a decent heal, so it's whatever. This one, ego recovery, if it's greater than 40, you get 10% source of water recovery for every 5 ego exceeded. So, like, I think this means, because the translations are a little bit wonky, I think you get ego recovery for doing this. I think. Or what that means is you just get additional healing. If that's the case, I really don't think you need it. Your stamina, I also don't know what this is. I think this might be healing. But overall, because Mika's value comes from the AP gains, I think you just need like the basic potential to level up. I really don't think you need the additional heals. You get plenty of it from her cards itself. When it comes to the save data, I know a lot of people have been talking about Gear Bag. This is the best neutral card, I think, especially to put on Mika. The combo aspect of it is just so free. Like, you use anyone else's cards and you just get to draw 2. It's pretty nuts. So, as you see here, the source of water that I do have is the 3 AP cost. Also on that Blessing of Waves, I have the healing exceeds, gets you a shield. I also have some upgrades on the tactical analysis, so I get 1 wave for 1 turn, and then I also gain 1 morale, so more damage output. I did not get a chance to remove Whirlpool. However, I did get a Divine Epiphany on it, so it gives 2 vulnerable to the targets. So this is an AoE, so it can come in handy if I have enough AP gain. So it is something to mention, right? So yeah, that's kind of the save data that I currently have. For her memory fragments, I don't have like good gear on her. I've been prioritizing all of my other damage dealers, but I will say, like, I just put out a gear guide the other day, and here I want to prioritize health percentage. So once I get a legendary piece, I'll level that up. Here, I also want health percentage, and then here I want defense percentage because her scaling and her shield from that Epiphany card will give me additional healing and additional shield. So defense percentage here is really important. As far as the set effects, I think you want a 2 set piece of HP, 2 set piece of defense, and then a 2 set piece of the Seth Scarab to give you more healing and stuff like that for your basic cards. So yeah, that is our Mika. Now, when it comes to like pairing her, I talked about this a little bit with Khalip. I think Mika and Khalip can go into any kind of team composition, and then you just throw in a damage dealer or a sub DPS, and you're gonna go far. So that's what makes her so good. She just pairs with every single person. Every single character in this game needs AP generation, and that's what she provides. So she's gonna go in any kind of strategy. So yeah, like, I think that's one of the benefits to her. So right now we have 56 energy. Let's go in here and just farm up like a Vanguard piece, and we'll showcase her. Let's show her with Barrel. I've been using Barrel a lot, and we'll use our Khalip because, like I said, her Khalip and Barrel ends up just being a really good team composition. And we'll just show wave. We'll show, the AP gain. So here, remember, she's got 6 copies of her, so her wave is shown up here. So if you get 3 waves, she gains 1 action point, and then you reduce the wave. She's got 2 pieces of it, but the Deluge is going to give us 1 wave right now up here. So then we get the additional AP gain. So we can use something like Whirlpool to put vulnerable up on the targets. So here we got vulnerable, right? So damage taken increases by 50%. We have a really cool Outbreak of War Maneuvering Fire card that applies mark and also gains 1 AP. So this like increases our damage really well. And then we're able to kind of finish this off. We get some additional hits. 1 tapped. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, so that was more of a showcase of Barrel. But yeah, so here's the Deluge. Again, we start with that. Here's Gear Bag. So, and Blessing of Waves. So this is a good round 2. So if we use Blessing of Waves now, look at that shield. 204 shield when we're at full health. That's really cool. We can use Iron Wall here for the Khalip to activate the Gear Bag. This is that weird combo piece. And then you just you build up all of this momentum. You have additional AP still. We can trigger another card. We use our Maneuvering Wave. We have our Whirlpool now, so we can get more vulnerable. And then we can also trigger vulture ejection with it. I guess that is one benefit of the whirlpool. So yeah, this is just like, she's an amazing, amazing support character. The wave mechanic, all of the AP gain, the additional shielding if you get that crazy Epiphany. That's also why I like using her other partner that I had mentioned, right? So her other partner gives the morale boost. So if we wanted to one tap these guys again, we can just use this partner to give 1 morale to our team. So now our damage is increased by 20%. We use our deluge. And then we can go in here and use our outbreak of war. Use our charge weapon, charge shot, dunzo. Yeah. So anyway, that's Mika, guys. If you haven't built her, I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're doing. She's so amazing. I think everyone knows this, but for anyone who's like joining the game newer and wants to know if she's good, yeah, she's amazing. So that's all I got for you here today. Appreciate you watching. Catch you on the next one. See ya.